order. This is an open meeting, and posted in the council chambers here right around the door as you come in is the actual Open Meeting Act. If you would, we would ask that you stand with us, join us in a moment of silence, and as well the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beth, we'll continue with roll call.
Granquist,
Here.
Lange,
Here.
Merrill,
Here.
Clausen,
Here.
Murin,
Here.
Moaning,
Here.
Faust,
Here.
File.
Here.
All right. First under our recommended action is noting the approval of a consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion with a second to approve the consent agenda as provided you. If you will please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
And as well, I would appreciate a motion for approval of the full agenda before us tonight.
So move, Your Honor.
Second.
Motion with a second to approve the full agenda. Again, if you would please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative.
All right. Moving to special presentations tonight, we have one special presentation, and that is the proclamation for Family Day. Whereas the use of illegal and prescription drugs and the abuse of alcohol and nicotine constitute the greatest threat to the well-being of our American children, and whereas scientific evidence demonstrates that teen alcohol and drug use interferes with brain development and can inflict serious, sometimes irreversible brain damage in long term, and whereas the prevention or delaying of teens using alcohol, tobacco, or other drugs for as long as possible is crucial to their health and safety, and whereas a child who gets through their mid-20s without smoking, misusing alcohol, or using illicit drugs is virtually certain never to do so, and whereas the earlier and the more often an adolescent smokes, drinks, or uses illegal drugs, the likelier that adolescent is to become addicted. Whereas children of hands-on parents are far less likely to smoke, drink, or use other drugs. Now therefore, I, Sue Flickman, Mayor of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska, by the power vested in me, do hereby proclaim September 22nd, 2014 as Family Day. Be involved, stay involved in the City of Norfolk, and I encourage all citizens to recognize and participate in this observance. I don't believe we have anyone here, so Beth will take that. And next, under public hearings, is a public hearing to amend Section 27-2 of the official city code to add definition for municipal solid waste and industrial solid waste. I will open this hearing, and I will look to you, Trent.
Mayor and Council, good evening. This one is kind of follow-up of the matrix. A couple weeks ago, we had added some matrix of industrial and municipal solid waste and where they can be at and conditional use permit. And in lieu of that, we had worked with adding the definitions. So these definitions were brought about with what a lot of the other communities use and or what it's being used nationally. And the solid waste industrial, it reads that it shall mean any waste that's part of industrial activity, which includes egg waste, metals, products, concrete, millings, tailings, radioactive waste, and sewage sludge. And solid waste municipal is basically your normal household trash. So there's a difference. Recycling's a great thing, but there is a difference on maybe tin cans, aluminum cans to egg waste of putting cow manure in bags, so to speak. There's a big difference on where that can be done at. We have a lot of industrial property, I-1, inside the city limits, which I think as citizens and government that we need to look at that and see, and that's where the conditional use permit came in on that. So just adding of those two definitions.
Okay. Any questions for him at all? I remind you that this is a public hearing. Is there anyone else that wants to speak to this or may have question? If not, and if no further discussion here from the council, then I would assume we have a, okay, go forward. with
The Norfolk Planning Commission held a public hearing on August 19, 2014, to consider an amendment to Section 27-2 of the official city code to add definitions for municipal solid waste and industrial solid waste. The Planning Commission recommended approval on an 8-0 vote.
Okay, and with that, I will close the public hearing and ask for your vote. Oh, I'm sorry, we better look first for consideration of ordinance number 5312, amending section 27-2 of the code.
Your Honor, I'd move consideration of ordinance number 5312 on first hearing, reading.
Second.
All right, we have a motion with a second. Any further discussion at all? How about a short title, Beth?
An ordinance of the City of Norfolk, Nebraska to amend Section 27-2 of the official city code to add definitions for municipal solid waste and industrial solid waste, to provide when this ordinance shall be in full force and effect, and to provide for publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form.
All right, and now I would ask you vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5312 carries on first reading.
Your Honor, I would move that we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 5312 on second and third reading.
Second.
All right, you heard the motion to suspend the rules and pass on second and third. If no question about that, I would ask for your vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5312 carries on second and third.
Good. All right, next we're going to move into the regular agenda where we're looking for consideration of approval of ordinance number 5313, creating a paving district number 505, providing for paving from North 34th Street from approximately 375 feet north of Silver Fox Avenue, continuing northwesterly approximately 340 feet to the end of the circle. Can I have a motion here?
Your Honor, I move consideration of ordinance 5313.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second, and we have Mr. Mark, who's here to talk to us about this one.
Yeah, basically, this is just, was a request by the developer for the creation of a paving district for North 34th Street. This is over in Fox Ridge Estates, 4th edition, basically the north end of 34th Street there. Developer is requesting a paving district because that's a cul-de-sac that they're proposing to put there, and standard practice is that the city pays for anything outside the required minimum improvements. And this one includes some oversized storm sewer, and the city also pays for the center of the cul-de-sac. The rest of the paving and improvements, as far as the paving goes, is paid for by the developer, but that is why they request a paving district for some help on those oversized costs. Like to answer any questions that you may have on this one.
I'm assuming that's not anticipated going forward this fall yet, or is it?
This one is, we're planning on going this fall. And actually, I'll get to that on another agenda, but this one, we're a later item, we're seeking for approval of the plan specifications estimates for bid. But this one, we're looking for this fall completion date.
Any other questions on this, council? Okay. If not, then, short title on this, Beth?
An ordinance creating paving district number 505 in the city of Norfolk, Nebraska, ordering the construction of street improvements therein, and ordering the publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form.
All right, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5313 carries on first reading.
Your Honor, I move we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 5313 on second and third.
Second.
All right, we have a motion with a second to suspend the rules and pass ordinance number 5313 on second and third reading. If no further discussion, I would ask for your vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5313 carries on second and third.
All right, staying right there, Mark, we're looking for consideration of approval, for approval of ordinance number 5314, creating paving district number 506, providing for paving of Marconet Circle from approximately 120 feet east of Pinnacle Drive, continuing southeasterly approximately 453 feet to the end of Martinet Circle.
Your Honor, I'll introduce ordinance 5314 on first reading.
Second that, Your Honor.
Okay, we have a motion with a second. Mark?
Again, this is another cul-de-sac there at Martinet Circle. This is behind, up in the neighborhood behind Fire Station 2. It's just, you know, another means for the developer to help get some of his costs on the paving paid for the center part of the cul-de-sac. No oversized storm sewer on this one, so just a request from the developer again.
Okay.
And this one would be June completion is what we're looking at. Wait.
Any further questions or comments? If not, short title, Beth.
An ordinance creating paving district number 506 in the city of Norfolk, Nebraska, ordering the construction of street improvements therein, and ordering the publication of the ordinance in pamphlet form.
All right, and if you'd please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5314 carries on first reading.
Your Honor, I would move we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 5314 on second and third reading.
Second.
A motion with a second to suspend the rules and pass ordinance number 5314 on second and third. If no further discussion, again, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5314 carries on second and third.
Okay, and final consideration of approval of ordinance 5315, creating paving district number 507, providing for paving of Regency Circle North from approximately 105 feet north of Andrews Drive, continuing north approximately 228 feet to the end of Regency Circle North.
Your Honor, I move consideration of ordinance 5315 on first reading.
All right, we have a motion with a second for approval of ordinance 5315.
Again, similar situation, another cul-de-sac that's planning going in on Regency Circle North. This is just northwest of First and Benjamin area. Just, there's a stub out street there, and this is just to pave the remainder of the cul-de-sac. No oversized storm sewer on this one, just again, the center of the cul-de-sac. Any questions? And this would be a June completion date as well, is what we're looking at.
Okay, hearing no questions at all, council? Good to go? All right, we'll have a Is there anyone that wants to speak to this at all? Okay, very good.
An ordinance creating paving district number 507 in the city of Norfolk, Nebraska, ordering the construction of street improvements therein, and ordering the publication of the ordinance in pamphlet form.
Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5315 carries on first reading.
And I'd move we suspend the rules and pass ordinance 5315 on second and third.
Was that a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion with a second to suspend the rules and pass ordinance number 5315 on second and third. Please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, ordinance 5315 carries on second and third.
All right, moving on, consideration of approval of the plans, the specification, and engineer's estimate on file in the city offices for paving district number 505, Fox Ridge Estates Addition Phase 4 project, and the authorization for the city clerk to advertise for bids. Looking for a motion?
Your Honor,
I'll move for
Consideration?
consideration.
second.
And you have something to say to this?
This is basically just for approval to get us to advertise for bids for the North 34th Street. You'll notice that there's this item and the next item take care of all three. The reason we split it into two is because with our conversation with the developer's engineer, the one in Fox Ridge, they really want to get that one done this year due to they already have a house going up there. They want to try to get that street in this year so they have access to that house. The other two, they felt like they could wait till June to get more competitive bids. And so that's why we split those into two separate projects. Basically, one project for the North 34th to be completed in November. The other one will bid with completion date in June of 2015.
Okay, makes sense. Any questions, any discussion? If not, I would ask you to vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
Okay, and final is consideration of approval of the plan specification and engineer's estimate on file in the city offices for paving district number 506, Berry Hill 16th edition and paving district number 507, Andrews Regency North Edition project and authorization for the city clerk to advertise for bids. Looking for that motion.
I'll make the motion, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay, motion with a second. I think you explained it very well, unless anyone has any questions for Mark. We'll let you take your seat.
All right.
All right, thanks, Mark. If no question, please vote.
All council members voting in the affirmative, motion carries.
I see nothing further on the agenda, so with that, we are adjourned.